Turn everything up. Okay, guys, welcome back. So, slight changes to things that have gone on since the last episode. I switched to the Redux version of the mod, which is a smaller file size, has less stuff required to run, but it has more content. So, we've essentially started over. I mean, I've got some divisions planned out, as well as Army, Navy, and Air Force all set up. Of course, in the Redux, we have Crete, Malta, and the Suez Canal under our control, and Africa looks different with several smaller states composing it instead of one large imperial stronghold. Um, Over here, oh dear, give the game a second. We've got the Far Eastern Republic, which is much bigger in the Redux than the original, and then Mongolia, I think, is also larger. Um, yeah, we'll just play it, see how well it runs. Should be at least somewhat better than the other mod, since it is a smaller size. We also have this territory here in Redux, so that's nice. We have a nice smooth border on the west. We have our construction queued up. It's moving very slowly because we are still recovering from the stock crash. Of course, also in Redux, Poland is automatically part of the Reichspakt military order, and we shall do stuff with that. Yeah. Oh, what else? So Austria also controls this area of Italy with Venice, and Old Italy has been restored in the Hearts of Iron 2 mod fashion or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. The recording still moves incredibly slowly. So I think what this YouTube series is going to end up becoming is more of a general overview with a little bit of gameplay, since not much can really go down, it seems, unfortunately. I don't really know what happened. I used to be able to record this game no problem. Malta declares independence. Let's see, what should we research? Probably interwar artillery. Yeah, do that. But now it just causes so many issues. I don't really understand. Oh, that's cool. Ooh. The Redux for the mod adds a whole bunch of content to Russia as well. Interesting things are going on there. See the Eurasianist policy. So the President Kerensky was assassinated. The Eurasianists have taken control. There's also the Treaty of Minsk from the 1920 party, 1920 treaty that we had with them in this universe. Also, these guys are red to match their ideology. Bulgaria has different borders, I think, and Afghanistan is at war with India. As happens, China is broken down into warlord states, with the Qing Imperial Authority remaining in control. We'll just get docking rights from them real quick, so that we can land our ships there, as well as from these guys. And does the Mountain Republic give us military access? They do. But these guys do not yet, so we'll have to see how they respond. Okay. I can go ahead and show you guys the Redux focus tree. It is different. Of course, down here, that's completely new. This is basically the different ways that um, the government can go based off of how you run the elections, which is interesting, you know. Like you can make alliances with Italy and like add extra support for certain political holdings. Okay. Reinstate the gold mark. Gold standard. Okay. A new Hansa League. Oh. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. But yeah, you can do a whole bunch of stuff with the government there. Of course, we've got uh, different things you can do in the Middle East and Caucasus region. Um, Other than that, it's more or less the same, I believe, except this now grants specific bonuses for certain uh, doctrinal trees, and you can also see your nation leader and your like head of government, which can make a difference. Yeah, so this is our expedition to Afghanistan. So we've given a lot of support to these guys. They're still going to lose, but, you know, and it is what it is. So we're getting experience from the whole thing. So offer from the dawn. Okay. Yeah, we'll sign the treaty with the Dawn host. We're gonna aim to get Sweden, Finland, all the Caucasus, Georgia, Spychan, the Ottomans, into our faction at some point. Maybe even Italy, but they might join the Austrian sphere. Which honestly, I mean, these guys will eventually join our faction anyway to help out with the war, but they always leave and remake their own faction, which causes this weird middle split in Europe. So what I usually end up doing is after finishing the International faction, I usually just invade Austria-Hungary and get all these smaller nations into the Middle Europa sphere in the Reich Pact military organization. Right, Bithynia is a hotbed of activity. I tried doing the same tree where I transformed the state into the state of Privia, but they in the Redux mod will rebel against you if you do that and will like try to go to war with you instead of just like playing along, which I guess makes sense since they're NAPOG political party. But it is a shame because I think that version of White Bithynia is a stronger kingdom. I have certain things set up so these two nations should form together into Polish Lithuania, um, which will eventually purchase Galicia Lodomeria from Austria-Hungary, expanding their borders quite a bit. And then these guys have territorial claims out here, which I don't think they'll get automatically. We'll have to go to war with the Russians, but we have a force Russian surrender option once we push them to like here, instead of having to go all the way to oh dear, what's the town? Well, it's right on the other side of the Ural Mountains. Ekaterinburg. Yeah, that place. Way out here. And they also added this thing where, like, in the port of Flume, there can be like a pirate naval incursion. So, like, they have like raids in the Adriatic Sea, which is weird. I do like having Crete as a Reichs colony, I guess. Chris Reichs colony, something like that. It's nice. Of course, Malta's independent now. Um, but we also own the Suez, which is also a really good strategic point of interest. In China, of course, we have the AOG, which controls some territorial areas in the nation, including our former colonial holding here. And they are basically like a corporate state, I guess, that just kind of makes money for the empire. And these guys also profit from that company existing. Things in America will get interesting, of course, with actually a 6-way civil war, I think, which is 3 more than in the traditional mod, with Texas, New York City, and Alaska becoming independent city-states as well. Just a whole lot of weird things can happen in the Redux mod, and I hope none of it too game-breaking, but, you know, if we absolutely have to, I can fix game-breaking issues with the console. I think eventually, after a while, I'll try to set up a hold on the east coast of India and kind of do a East India Company recreation, but with our empire over here, and that could be interesting, but that's later game content. I don't think, like, if we went to war with the Princely Federation, that would do much good for us, except get us eventually at a war with the Entente, which we would do anyway. I was going to set up a scenario where this goes like into the 50s, maybe even the 60s, and we do like a Cold War era Let's Play as well. But that would be harder to do, and I would have to manage things manually to make sure that nothing breaks out too quickly. But I'll see what I can do to try to set up that scenario. I know a mod is coming out later this year, Calder Krieg, Shadow of the Second World War. I'm definitely going to be playing that mod because it's exactly the scenario I was talking about, only professionally set up with people that actually know how to code. At some point, I did try to make my own map based off of the lore not in-game, but in my book series that I've been working on. And yeah, that didn't go so well. It ended up messing up all the colors on the map, and the coding just didn't work. Let's see, I guess I'll go through the divisions while I'm here. You know, I've got, of course, Millet's Troop. I don't mean to click train. Those guys are militia units. I don't really know how to use those, so I won't delete them. You know, I don't think that we can use them either. Other than that, we've got basic infantry, which I added to artillery, anti-air, and motorized recon units to, basically just to standardize the infantry unit. We have light armor units, heavy armor units, what I call shock troops, which are basically just very fast motorized units with a lot of power behind them. They'll get better eventually. Marines with armored recon, and a more elite infantry unit, which will be more resource intensive because they have heavy tanks, but they'll be useful for breaking through enemy entrenchment later on. I've also got priority set to reinforcements. Grand Fleet, refit yards, street liaisons, can't pick anything there. Of course, we'll be doing the thing where we add medium tanks to all of our infantry units eventually. Medium tanks to everything because they are just easier to produce in large numbers and typically do pretty well. Besides, I can add heavy tank cannons to them for like low cost. So maybe what I'll do is an update video every in-game year that passes. So this will be the video for the in-game year of 36, and the next time I check in will be the in-game year of 37, and so on. just because the recording capacity of this video game is limited when I have all these mods installed. I don't know which one exactly slows down the recording so badly, but you know, it is what it is. They also add new generals and field marshals to the mod. You have access to all of these guys, which aren't in the original. Um, I did mess with these units already, so I've got all of our infantry together and motorized, and then we have one marine division. And then, of course, the Caucasus are different. Instead of just being the Don Kaban Union, it's all these different nationalities, which I think is more realistic, probably. I did mention you got stuff going on over here in Africa. We also control this territory, which you don't in the original mod. I don't think Morocco's changed at all, though. No, I don't think so. Yeah, so that is where the game stands currently, and I suppose these videos will be rather short since the gameplay is limited. I'll try to get better footage once the actual battle begins, but just leading up to that point, I'll just do these short update videos every in-game year that passes. So, for now, this is Tyler from Theta Plays, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Until then, goodbye.